Does your online course still feel exciting to you? Or does it feel a little stuck in the past? With 2025 just around the corner, it's time to make sure that your course is fresh, relevant, and aligned with your goals. And in today's video, I'm going to share with you 5 clear signs that your course might need a glow up. And more importantly, I'm going to help you decide whether it's worth your time and your energy to update it or not. Because let's face it, not every course needs an overhaul. However, if you are seeing at least 2 of the 5 signs I'm about to share, then it's likely time for a refresh. So let's get it. The first sign your course needs a glow up is if you're not feeling excited to sell it anymore. So, whether it's available year round on an evergreen model or only during specific launch windows, if you're dreading putting it out there, that's a big red flag. You should be excited about what you're selling. And this often happens when you've grown as a person, you've grown as a business owner, but for whatever reason, your course hasn't grown with you. And maybe it feels like a bit of an outdated version of yourself. Your knowledge has evolved, your expertise has deepened, your audience has shifted, and the course just no longer represents where you are or perhaps even who you are now. This doesn't just apply to your course content, it applies to the other stuff included with your offer, like support calls, community, implementation services, anything that you currently sell associated with this course that you feel no longer fits your lifestyle or your business model. So, for example, let's say with your course, you've included weekly live group calls, but now you think about delivering on those and it feels draining or it doesn't align with your schedule. Another example, let's say that you added a Facebook group along with your course sale, but now it feels like a total chore to manage. Been there. And so, if the offer is no longer a reflection of what you love or how you want to work, then it's time to refresh it. Consider how you could give an even better client experience while also creating a business that aligns with your lifestyle. That is exactly what is going to not just get you excited to sell it, but catapult you to the next level. Sign number 2 is if you're getting consistent feedback that your course isn't quite hitting the mark. Now, listen, like one refund or one negative review is not a reason to panic. It's not a reason to go and like redo your whole program. Okay. But if you're noticing patterns, like you're noticing students dropping off at the same point in the program, or they're asking the same clarifying questions, or if they're saying, like, hey, this course feels outdated, then that's something to pay attention to. So, for example, let's say your students are consistently asking the same questions about a specific module. That's a very clear sign that the material may need to be updated so that it's more detailed, so that they know exactly what to do, just to clarify the whole thing. Maybe they're saying they love the information but don't know how to apply it. And that's something that they're saying about the whole program at large. That's a clue. You need to be more actionable and directive in the steps that you tell them to take and the examples that you give. You can also look at completion rates too. This is just one form of feedback, but are students actually finishing your course? If most of students are dropping off halfway through, it's worth investigating why are they dropping off halfway through. Maybe it feels overwhelming. Maybe it's not engaging enough to keep them motivated. Maybe that's a particularly challenging spot where their mindset isn't straight and they need some support with that, which stay tuned. The next sign is going to be about mindset. But these are areas where small tweaks can make a big difference. So you don't have to revamp the whole program, but you can look at what the feedback is saying. And if it's consistent and you're seeing patterns, then okay, maybe that's a sign that, hey, we're going to tweak it. Now, if you have the kind of course that isn't meant to be completed, which, yes, like is an actual thing, there are courses out there that were not designed to be 100% completed, then you can also check how often students are logging in to leverage that data to then figure out if a refresh is time. So, to sum up this sign, if you're seeing consistent patterns in what your students are saying, the behaviors that they're having that are not aligned with results, or the questions that they're asking, that's good data to look at to determine, is it time for a refresh? The third sign is if your industry or topic has experienced major changes since you created your course. So there are some industries like social media marketing, tech, podcasting. They evolve so quickly that what was cutting edge 2 years ago might feel completely irrelevant now. So, like, for example, let's say you created a course on Instagram marketing. Well, 2-3 years ago, since then, now Instagram has introduced notes, threads, AI tools, the little blue check mark that you can buy. So if your course doesn't address those, then it's going to feel outdated to your audience. And even if your course is in a more like evergreen field, such as nutrition or fitness, it's still good to like check in. Are there any new best practices, research, tools that could elevate your program? Because again, you don't always need a massive update. Sometimes just adding a new resource, adding a bonus, that can keep your course feeling fresh and aligned with the times without having to redo the whole dang thing. Sign number 4 is one of the most important, and it's, are your students actually getting the results that they came for? Now, of course, the students need to put in the work, but it's our job as the course creator to make the work easy to do. You want to make that journey as simple, supportive, and effective as possible. That's what they're paying you for. So start by asking yourself, is my content clear and actionable? Do my students know exactly what to do after each and every lesson? And if you're noticing that students are getting stuck or confused, that's a clear sign that your instructions, your framework, your instructional design might need some fine tuning. And then let's talk about mindset. Remember, I told you this was coming up. Okay, so many course creators, they put a mindset module in the beginning of their program, but students skip it because they think, I don't like mindset, I don't want to do it, or I don't need mindset, I know it all. Like whatever it is that they think, they skip it. So instead of front loading all the mindset work, try weaving it into your lessons. For example, if you're teaching a specific sales strategy, let's say closing, you're teaching closing, and you notice that students really get stuck on the close or the ask, like that point where you're like, and here's the price, then you want to include a mindset shift tool, exercise, something around confidence, how to be more confident in that moment, or how to get over the fear of rejection right before you go do the action steps for it, rather than having it siloed way up in this little module up top. So this is going to keep your students motivated. It's going to put them in the right headspace as they progress. Honestly, if you don't hear anything else from this video or even this whole freaking channel, it's really, really important that you integrate the mindset work at the moment that they need it, not in the beginning of the course, because that's easier for you. Let's be real. That's why we do it. So really, really, really integrate integrate the mindset content with the trainings themselves. That's one of the biggest mistakes I see when students are not getting results. It's not because the content's not good. It's not because the strategy is not right. It's because you haven't supported them in fixing what's between their ears as they take that strategy. The fifth and final sign is this: your students aren't coming back. So repurchase and retention is not about your initial sale. It's about what happens after the program or the course ends. Are they buying the next offer that you have available? Are they recommending your program to others? And if they're not, that's a problem. But that's not just a problem for your business growth. It's also a problem for the impact that you want to make. For example, if you notice that students who complete your course are consistently joining your membership program, that's a sign that you've created a really strong path for them to follow. You've developed a lot of trust. But if students disappear after finishing your course, it might mean that your course isn't creating momentum for your students. And we know that a truly impactful course doesn't just teach, it transforms. And transformation comes from persuasive teaching. Now, I cannot give you specific data points on what a good ascension number looks like 5%, 10%, 50%. I can't tell you what that is because this isn't you against a number out there in the ether. This is you against you, or should I say you for you. If you ascend 10% of clients after your first launch and 15% of clients after your second launch, great. That is obviously progress. I find that if you are comparing your ascension rates to the businesses of others, it can cause so much stress and overwhelm, but it's like a fallacy. It's not even a true measure of success, because even if they have the same business model, if they don't have the same niche, really difficult to get comparison of numbers to know like what good is. So really and truly, like, this is you for you, boo. You don't have to worry about what's the right number and what should I be aiming for. You get to set what you want to be aiming for and then just keep at it, keep working at it until you get it. And remember, repurchase and retention rate is a function of time. I recently did an ascension option at a 15K price point for a 3K program that I bought in 2020. So 2020, I bought the 3K program. Just now, 2024, almost 2025, I come back and decide, now I'm ready for the next thing. So the longer that you're in the game, the longer that you're teaching the same topic, then the greater your chances are at increasing that rate. So when it comes to repurchase and retention, remember, it's how you create a sustainable business, but it's also how you create impact. Pay attention to it and track UVU over time. So, how did your course stack up against these 5 signs? My entire goal with this video was to help you decide, is it worth your energy to update your program or not? If you've spotted 2 or more signs, then it's might be time for a glow up. And if you're still not sure, I'd love to help. You can check out my course audit offer for personalized feedback and actionable strategies to bring your course into 2025 stronger than ever. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss more tips like these. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.